just a short video to show you how to change a cover and restore. As you can see, there's 15 years of grime on this. Never cleaned it till today. First thing we got to do is remove these. These tabs need to be pushed in, all of them, all the way around. I'm going to do the top bit first, and then I'm going to remove the beading. The beading and the sunbed will come out together. There is a slight beading on the sunbed which is glued to the sunbed, and this is separate. So when we're going to fit this back, we will start at this point here and put both in together and work our way around. The reason for that is we need to get that in that gap along that edge, and as you knock it in with a hammer, it will follow that edge here because there is a lip. All you do is put a screwdriver in that hole there next to it, and then put another screwdriver here and just lean it back. The first one is tight, there's more room on the next ones, but just lean it back and then push on the other screwdriver, and then keep working your way all the way around till you get to the end. So I push the tab back, just push down on that screwdriver there, and you can see now it's gone through the gap slightly. So if we just turn it over, now you can see it's came up now the other side. So all I can do now is use my screwdriver. Be careful you don't scratch it here. Just gently lift it up as you push the tabs in. Push each tab in and lift it up as you go around. Just go around with the screwdriver and lift it up, or you can push them out with you. Once you've you can just pull it and they come out, and that's that done. So I've done the back, and now I'm going to do the base. I put the sunbed on its side, and now I'm going to start on the first clip here, just pulling them back all the way around. Continue all the way around. Some will actually pop back again. You'll just have to do them as you do it and you pull it out. So once I've done that, now I'll put the screwdriver in that hole there, a smaller screwdriver, and then just tap it with a hammer. I mean, you could just tap it if you've got a small hammer, but my hammer don't fit in that gap there. But if you've got a little small hammer, don't be frightened to break these clips, because they will. You do get a new plastic trim anyway, so just work your way along like you did the top, and then take that off again. So once you've undone the tabs and pushed them in slightly all the way around, as you see, so once all the tabs are pulled up, you just put your foot onto the bar and the thing, give it support, and just pull it. Just pull it all the way around. Stand on the bar. Just I'm just going to show you quickly how to clean it. I've got an old scour. I don't use a brand new one. I use one what's already been used in the kitchen, just because it's not so abrasive. I just spray this on the pad get an area like that, just wipe it. I'm not going to bore you with doing it all on video, but just give it a good wipe. Don't have to wipe it off yet. I usually leave it on there. Just go over the whole thing. Let's get a nice little scrub. At the end, if you've got any stains still on there, just go over them. I will wash it with a hose once I've finished. That's all I do. The good reason to use a sponge pattern is because when you push it, it gets right in the little cracks and that. It's easier. But just go over it. And some marks are a bit more stubborn, but give it a bit longer. But generally, it just wipes off. And if I just show you, I mean, I'm not really pressing hard. If I just wipe it off there, you just see how clean that is. See, near the floor is where all the dirt bounces up from the floor when it rains. But again, I'm not pressing hard, just wiping it really. Watch that. See, it's slightly discoloured there, just when you get a line on the plastic moulding, just go sideways. When it comes up like that. Well, that's to show you, I've done half the sunbed. Just to show how clean it comes up. That's both sides. Quite amazing stuff really. Spray it on and wipe it off. Quite happy with that. What I do now is do the other side and cover it. Well, that's the sunbed cleaned. Just a quick wipe over. That's and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the cover on. These are new strips. You get them with a cover. What I'm going to do is that's upside down. What I'm going to do is feed it in the gap all the way around, find out where this starts according to here, and then I'll put a little bit of tape on there to see where I start it, and I always start at this position here, all the other side, and go all the way around. I've temporarily put the cover in place. You have to put the bead in on first before you put the cover, but I'm just showing you it fitted in. It's tight around that circle there, so it's not too slack. And if you follow it along, you will find it doesn't actually go to the end. So that's an important thing to know, because if you fit that plastic thing here, you won't get around that corner at the end. So just shows you where you start. So I'm going to put a bit of tape here with a little line to say that don't put that in there, start it there, else you won't get around the corner. It'll be too tight. So this is the beading, what goes in first. Don't push it all the way down, just leave a slight edge about that high, where my finger is, because you'll need to put the blue cover inside that gap, and then it fits down together, pushes together. If you fit this and you push it down too far, just lift the sunroof, let the sunbed up, and then clip it from the bottom, and then just pull it back up, because it will lock down if it's pushed too far in, as it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start the bed cover at this point, at that arrow. You'll notice that the blue thing will need to be pulled along a little bit, because it'll have to fit in that edge there and on the outside edge here. So it's going to fit flush in there. Same with that side. But that's no problem, that will go in. Come closer. That. So if you can't get that in line with that edge there, just put a screwdriver in there, put your finger on there, just pull it so you can start it in. So that's got to be in line with that. I've gone a bit too far, so I just tap it back. And you could put a screwdriver in there, lift it slightly, and then just tuck it in underneath that edge there. So it has to go underneath this beading, and then just push it down. And I usually use a back end of a screwdriver there, just to, because you'll find that is slightly lower than there, and now you'll find that's locked in now. That's perfect. So just work your way all the way along, all the way around the edge until you finish. But like I said, if this locks in, lift the sunbed up, unlock the lips, and then it should come back up again, because you need it up about that much. So you push it, you can see this is fitted underneath the edge, this is not. So you just need to push it down and then work your way along. And there we go, that's locked in already, I can tell you. And just work all the way around until that's fitted, and then do the top last. If you find you can't, like here, if you can't get that underneath the ridge, just put a screwdriver just slightly at an angle, don't hit down on it, just slightly that way, and just tuck it, just hit with the palm of your hand, but careful, don't stab this with a screwdriver. And you'll notice that if you look here, the height of that, see, I'm following that edge, so it tucks that edge in that groove by hitting it just with the hammer here, and that gap then to move along. That's the reason why you start at the beginning and work all the way along. So if I just touch that with a hammer, it will tuck in, see? It won't mark, it might make it a little bit dirty, but. So I'm right round to this point here now, don't take long. If you want to make sure so you can see the tabs clipped in there all the way along, and you can see that these ones aren't. So that's all of them done now. If you check, all clipped in all the way around. What you notice, this is quite stretched, perfect, and you'll notice there's a few creases there, but I think putting that in the sun, they'll come out and go. But I can warm it up. And they've gone. I think if you put it in the sun anyway, they'll go. I think it's where it's been stored, folded up in the packet. But there we go. So all I've got to do now is the top. Again, I've just put it in all the way around, just to see where the ends are in relation to here. Obviously it fits in nice there, so I'm going to mark it there. If you lift the back up when you do this one, it'll make it easier to tuck it in, and then lay it down quickly like this, and then you'll find it pull. So what I'll do is I'm going to start at this corner here, like I did the base, mark where that starts there. So I'm going to put that black piece right on that. And now I'm going to put the beading in first. Take this out. Put the beading in. So slight gap, and do what I did with the bottom. Again, leave a gap all the way around when you put the plastic in. If you find it hard to get this plastic in, just sort of tap it down with your hand, but lean it outwards because you've got hooks on the end. It will go in, it's not that difficult. You could put, if you wanted to, some soap in the groove to make it a little bit slidey, but I didn't bother. Now I've done that, I'm just gonna start the cover. I'll start at that point here. So that edge there is going to be where I start on my arrow there. So I'm going to tuck that in here. Make sure when you tuck this in that you don't fold that over like that. Make sure that's perfectly down. I don't know why it's so long. You can trim it back, I suppose, if you wanted to. You must start once I've got that edge in there, then now I can follow it all the way along. So I'll start here. I'm just knocking it down, and then just tuck that slightly under. I find sometimes it's best to just get a screwdriver under there and just tuck that under, using both sides like that, and then just put your thumb down and hold it down. And then I can find the clips underneath if you want. There's one there, so I'll slightly put it over there. It's slightly harder because this is a bit loose, and your weight obviously gets lost when you're knocking it down. So that's gone in there. And I'll just work my way along, all the way along, until I've finished. Well, that's the sunbed finished. Sorry about the noise in the background, this is the washing machine. Just been over it with a hairdryer just to get the wrinkles out. And it's completely finished. When you do the back, tilt it up, because you'll find when you get to the top it'll want to pull down, so a slack. It's quite tight even though it's lifted up, but you'll get there. I'd say on a scale of 10, this is probably about a 7 to do. You just take your time. As long as when you're doing the beading, make sure you're following that edge, and then it'll push down in that edge. Don't push it down over here. Keep following that edge and tap it down as you do the edge. And if you find the clips are not in properly, just tap it over the clip and you'll be fine. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. So there we have both sunbeds finished now. Good as new. Well, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you're successful in repairing your own sunbeds. Bye for now.